Hello, thank you for joining us on CoreTV News Hour. I am Frank OMALAPEH. As the crisis between herdsmen and the villagers in Plateau State continue to linger, the state has been thrown into mourning after some villagers were reportedly killed in Barikin-Ladi local government area. According to the villagers, Fulani herdsmen attacked Barikin-Ladi local government area, burned over 100 houses and left about 22 people dead. However, official reports record the death toll at 7. The victims are now being buried and the community continues to live in fear of more Fulani attacks in the state. And now Niger Republic's President Muhammadu Issoufou has repealed or he praises on President Goodluck Jonathan for his leadership qualities in Nigeria and the rest of the continent. This, he noted, is because of the way he made Africa proud by conceding defeat after the March 20 presidential election. Issoufou spoke with State House correspondent through an interpreter after a closed-door meeting with President Jonathan at the presidential villa in Abuja.
Mais le plus important aussi que je voudrais souligner, c'est le comportement du président à l'occasion des dernières élections présidentielles organisées ici au Nigeria. Avant ces élections,
and to congratulate him. That was a great lesson. It's a great lesson to all Africa, to all Africans. It's a good legacy that Mr. President is leaving behind for other countries to emulate. In fact, Mr. President has set a new model of democracy for ECOWAS countries.
Grâce aux convictions démocratiques.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, has said that the success of the 2015 elections proved doomsday predictions and the international media wrong. The INEC chairman made the comment when he received a delegation from Mexico led by the ambassador in Nigeria, Marco Blanco. Professor Jega was delighted by the offer from the South American country to share experiences with its electoral body and explained that the 2015 elections were much better than that of 2011. He, however, admitted that there was room for improvement. Jega also appreciated the effort of the Mexican embassy in working out a memorandum of understanding between both countries on sharing electoral experiences. Acting National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Secondo, says the exit of the predecessor at the Momozo and the Chairman Board of Trustees, Tony Anene, will have no negative effect on the party. He said this while speaking with House correspondent after a meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan at the presidential villa. Secondo has also insisted that the duo put in their resignation voluntarily.
But you know that it's not right and it's not constitutional. Again, the chairman did that voluntarily, and the BOT also did that voluntarily. The others have tenure, all of us. At the end of our tenure, if we are elected, fine. If not, that is the right thing to do. You
don't see any reason for you to do the same?
No reason, because we have worked hard.
A lot of people are wondering the coincidence between the national chairman and the BOT chairman resigning almost at the same time. They see it as
sometimes
a big blow.
Sometimes it wasn't a big blow. Sometimes it has to happen that way.
And you are sure they were not forced to do so?
Nobody forced them. No force.
National leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, says the party has not zoned the leadership positions of the National Assembly to any part of the country. He also insists that the party leaders have no plans to interfere in the election of principal leaders of the chambers. The former Lagos State governor spoke to journalists at the Defense House in Abuja.
The nation is expecting us to take a decisive leadership decision. Make one meritoriously. Merit will not be compromised. You have to be competent. You have to possess the kind of character, attributes for the leadership. You have to be pan-Nigerian and be a very solid character to lead the National Assembly. And that is what we are talking about. So it's not zoning to compromise quality of leadership and qualification and competency of an individual.
Federal lawmakers from the Kano and Jigawa caucus of the House of Representatives have endorsed Femi Gbajabiamila as the next Speaker of the House. They based their decision to support the serving minority leader and his contributions during the soon-to-end 7th Assembly. But the lawmakers insist that the decision of the leadership of the All Progressive Congress on zoning of the position also remains paramount.
We are coming from the background of party discipline. So the position of our caucus is that we are waiting for the decision of our party. And wherever the party zones the speakership, members of Kano will not go astray. If for whatever reason, the position of the speaker is zoned to the southwest, as the case may be, then I will tell you, no one of our members will miss Femi.
Femi has been minority leader now for 8 years, and he was a member for, I think, 4 years. And those of us who have been with him in the last 4 years can attest to the fact that he is someone who is very dogged, someone who will say it as it is, someone who will stand and fight for the right of the common man without fear of what may be the consequence. And I believe in this era of change, which is a mantra of our party, we need someone who can come with bold ideas, ideas that can change the way and manner Nigerians perceive.
The Senate has mandated its committees on petroleum resources upstream and downstream to investigate the lingering fuel scarcity in the country. These followed a motion by the Deputy Senate Leader, Abdul Ningi, who stressed the need to get to the root of the nationwide fuel crisis. He argued that since the 7th Senate will not wind up until June 1, senators have a duty to help ease the current situation. Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, who presided over the plenary, approved the motion without debate.
Mr. President, I had the privilege of meeting you this morning in regards to the serious challenges that our nation is facing. There is economic challenge, there is power challenge, but the fact of today's matter is the chronic fuel scarcity in Nigeria. I think we need to remind ourselves we still have the mandate of the people until the 1st of June. We are still the representatives of the people. This is not a matter that we had discussed in the past, but this is a matter that we need information. We need information to be able to plan, Mr. President. As Nigerians, we need to know, we need to ask questions whether fuel scarcity has come to stay. We need to know whether it will become part of our life. We need to actually plan. By planning and by talking about it, we are now sensitizing Nigerians to brace up for the incoming issue of fuel scarcity. Whether it's going to be here permanently, whether it's going to be temporary, but we can't know all these things until we hear from the officials, until we hear from the experts. Therefore, my prayer, Mr. Senate President, is to ask the committees of downstream and upstream to come up with explanation on Tuesday next week, through which they will inform the Senate and through which Nigerians will also know and plan their future. Otherwise, I think it is both legally and morally not right to keep silent about it, to sweep it under the carpet, and to continue to believe these things are usual and nothing matters.
Meanwhile, the Senate on Thursday ignored the petition filed by the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs to clear President Goodluck Jonathan nominees for appointment into the board of the National Hajj Commission. The council had claimed that the president did not consult with it before forwarding the list to the Senate. Aside from the Islamic Council, 2 other bodies sent in petitions against the nomination of Abdullah Mohammed as chairman of the commission. Chairman Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs Sani Saleh drew attention to the petitions while presenting the committee's report, but the Senate confirmed the appointment of the chairman and 7 members of the commission in spite of the NCAI's objection. Report just reaching us now says Oja Oba Market in Ado-Ekiti was set on fire by unknown persons in the early hours of today, despite the imposed 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. curfew imposed by state government. Men of the State Fire Service are currently battling to put out the fire. We will bring you out the details in our subsequent bulletins. You're still watching CoreTV News Hour. We'll take a break now. We'll be back with more stories. Join us again.
Women share the most amazing thoughts on national issues, and they do it passionately.
For most men that are educated, that are exposed, will see nothing to it.
The population and the level of poverty made me cry. No infrastructural development whatsoever. And you tell me Lagos is working?
That was an accident, and it was a one-off thing. Other than that, there has never been any situation in Nigeria where a Nigerian attacked anybody just because of where they came from.
Sharing the adorable word of women in politics every week, only on CoreTV News.
This is CoreTV News Hour live from our Lagos studios. For more information on our news and other programs, like our Facebook page is facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News NG. For live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV. Give a space, then news. Ahead May 29 handover ceremony, Inspector General of Police Solomon Arashe has ordered all zonal assistant inspectors general of police and command commissioners of police to beef up security around all key and vulnerable points nationwide. The IG directed that critical infrastructures like filling stations, major hotels, national and state houses of assembly, Eagle Square in Abuja and other public places should be protected ahead of the May 29, 2015 inauguration of new administrations in the country. In a statement issued by the Force Public Relations Officer, Emmanuel Ojukwu, the IGP explained that this was necessary to ward off possible plans by insurgents to carry out violent and coordinated attacks on various installations and public places during the handover ceremony. The Police High Command urged members of the public to continue to collaborate with officers and men of the Nigerian Police and other security agencies to stamp out crimes, including terrorism. The statement noted that the police had perfected strategies to prepare a safe and secure ground for hitch-free inauguration of new governments nationwide. Benwide Inspector General of Police Solomon Arashe has ordered all commissioners of police not to hold any suspect in detention for more than 48 hours. He also warned the rank and file against handling of bags or any items for individuals they are meant to protect. The police chief maintained that any operative caught in the act will be prosecuted and arrested. Our correspondent Pius Hamels has details.
This is the first time since its confirmation that the Inspector General will be meeting with the rank and file of the police. They have come from across all the 12 zones to interface with the police chief. And in his address, the Inspector General reaffirmed the promise he first made when he assumed office a few weeks ago. He also had a word of caution for command CPs on detention of suspects.
You will not invite anybody to our facilities and detain them for more than 48 hours. You must ensure that you gather evidence before anybody is invited to our police stations. We have already sent out teams of escort, IGP monitoring, and provost to ensure that these directives are strictly adhered to.
Arase wants police officers across the country to have a change of attitude to work. And for operatives attached to VIPs, the police chief made it clear he won't tolerate them handling anything other than their weapons.
We have decided that Henceforth, only government officials will enjoy police protections. Those of you who are posted to various VIPs on no account should you carry their bags. On no account should you act as domestic servants to them. You are police officers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and they must respect you as such.
To ensure that the force is accountable to its officers, the IG gave other members of the police high command the opportunity to speak with the men. Deputy Inspector Generals took turns to share their cardinal objectives with the rank and file.
The IG and management team, we met and decided that now going to training institution is on merit.
This concept of community policing is all about living and working harmoniously with members of the public and the communities that we serve.
You all know there is a policy in this force that you should not take your arms and ammunition home. You all know that we have strongly advised you that if you're going to your beats or your patrols, work in groups.
The Inspector General of Police also promised to make the welfare of the rank and file his key priority. For now, he has approved promotion for 36,599 officers and men of the force. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The May 29th Inauguration Committee for Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed of Kwara has been set up. The committee, headed by Kola Shitu, will look into ways of working out strategies for a successful ceremony. In his briefing, the chairman of the committee, Kola Shitu, unveiled the new administration program, which aimed to build on the current achievement in order to chart fresh prosperity for the state and its people. He attributed the success of the present administration to the glory of God and the ability and willingness of Governor Ahmed Fattah to have meaningful impact on its people across the state.
Of the administration's plan to unveil new programs designed to build on current achievements, to chart fresh prosperity to our state and its people. In line with these realities, the theme of this inauguration is therefore making our good better.
Admitted that this inauguration needed to celebrate in big form due to the credible performance of Governor Ahmed, but the crisis of short fund has made it to be a low-key celebration.
While Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed's impressive outing in the last 4 years deserves celebration, the mood of the nation called for sobriety, which largely informed the low-key nature of this inauguration.
And now the result of the clash between the drivers' union and the Hausa community in Ado-Ekiti is beginning to dawn on the affected victims. The clash, which snowballed from a tribal issue, was hijacked by hoodlums who wreaked havoc, resulting to looting, arson and destruction of property. While making an assessment, State Governor Ayof Haushi declared dusk to dawn curfew on the state. Our correspondent Rashid completes the report.
The crisis which shook Ado-Ekiti to its root can only be described as an avoidable calamity. With temporary calm returning to the city and all sides holding on for the now, the affected traders visit the scene as they count their losses, perplexed over their situation.
They were just pursuing me. I was begging them, please, we are not outside, we are not paying. They said we are together. They have done it. They just start. Sir, about 4 million. Where I want to start? No, where I can start. Okay, where I want to start now? I just graduated. I'm a graduate. No work, no job, no anything. I just use this one to just sponsor myself. Nothing. Look at now where I want to start. They even bomb my shop, sir.
While on an assessment tour of the crisis scene earlier by the state governor Ayodele Fayoshe, the Hausa leadership aired their despair and disappointment over what they describe as mistaken identity and their readiness to allow peace reign. This is even coming as armored personnel carriers had to disperse irate youths on both sides.
The 419ers. So, but Hausa people are not 419ers. As they are coming, what they normally do is that they will just throw stones and bottles inside the houses.
Governor Fayoshe expressed regret over the crisis as he sued for peace. He, however, declared a dusk to dawn curfew.
Therefore, tonight, from today, from this evening, from 6 o'clock this evening, I am imposing curfew on Abdo Metropolis. When I leave you here, I go to go and talk to them and tell them down. Anybody with fire, cutlass or any dangerous weapon on them, whatever tribe you are, we are going to arrest you.
With the state government set to try any culprit, the onus lies on the police to make arrests rather than retain a laid-back posture as displayed while the crisis lasted. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
And that's a wrap on CoreTV News at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank OMALAPEH. Coming up at top of the eye, Score Digest. Join us then.